I'm a wheelchair user, and Katja, my assistant dog, it's really funny because her name is Katja, but I always name her Cat. So I have an assistant dog named Cat, and she is helping me with all kinds of daily tasks where most people luckily don't have to think about, like simply getting up in the morning.
You're listening to the Soul Touched by Dogs podcast, the show for dog lovers who see dogs not as toys or tools, but wise souls worth our respect and care. I'm Anke Herman, and I'm your host. Hello and welcome, Claudia. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. And we've got such an interesting topic today. So I'm not going to give anything away. I'm going to zip it. And I'm going to ask you, where in this lovely world are you based and what's your business with dogs?
I'm based in Alkmaar in the Netherlands, about 30 minutes below Amsterdam. And my business with dogs is I have an assistant dog. I'm a wheelchair user, and Katja, my assistant dog, it's really funny because her name is Katja, but I always name her Cat. So I have an assistant dog named Cat, and she is helping me with all kinds of daily tasks where most people luckily don't have to think about, like simply getting up in the morning. So that's my business with dogs.
I love it. I love it. So, I mean, obviously, there's like, okay, so you just already touched on something, So, was obviously the first question I had was, okay, what are things that your cat does for you that people wouldn't expect? Because, like, say, everybody knows, like, um, the guide dog with a blind person, like the
Yeah.
dog, and you kind of know what they do, right? But I think outside of that context, a lot of people wouldn't know all the things. And sometimes you see some video where the dog goes to the fridge and, and brings something from the fridge. Like, what are things she does for you that maybe people wouldn't expect?
I think she does a lot of things people wouldn't expect because sometimes I even get a question, why do you have an assistant dog? Uh, as a wheelchair user, it's, well, almost impossible to pick something up from the ground. Like try if you see that, try to pick
Mm.
something up from the ground. And then imagine you can move your legs and you have back problems and sore neck and your arms and your hands don't work as other people. So I drop a lot on a daily
Mm.
basis. And Kat just picks up everything I drop, sometimes with a little sigh at the end of the day. So I'm like, oh my God, here we go again.
Not you again.
But her day starts when my alarm clock goes off or if she's hungry. So she's like all dogs and she's a Labrador, so they love food. So if it gets beyond 8 o'clock in the morning, she gets restless because she wants her breakfast. So then she will wake me up if I
Fair
don't have an
enough.
alarm clock. But then her day starts by getting me out of bed. So she will pull my legs over the side of the bed. So I always have to wear pajama. And then we have a kind of device where she holds one end, I hold the other one, and then she just tucks me so I can sit up and then I can move into my wheelchair.
Wow.
So yeah, that's really incredible. And then we go to the bathroom and we go into the shower and I shower seated. So I will transfer from my wheelchair to the shower seat, give my chair a push, and she will push it even further so we won't get wet. I take a shower, she will bring me my towel, then she will pull the wheelchair back to me because it got like a little, you can have one here. Like we use these a lot.
Oh,
So these
wow.
will hang from every door in my house, every drawer, kitchen cabinets. We have these and we
That's
call
so
these,
practical. And then she
yeah,
can just grab
you
it.
can tug. We call it tugging.
Yeah.
So, I use a lot of English words with her, so she won't listen to other people or children who can repeat everything you say.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, these come in all colors and sizes. Like I have these small ones that I will attach to my boots or my jacket, or so she can unzip the jacket or unzip the boots, like
Wow.
that kind of thing. Or it goes on your deck bed, and then she can pull that away from you. So yeah, she does a lot of things.
That's incredible.
And I
I mean,
don't think people
how?
expect that she does
No,
that.
no. You would. I mean, the picking up from the ground. That I would have thought, like,
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
But that even to kind of pull on your pajama legs to kind of, like, or push the wheelchair out of the way so it doesn't get wet. That's like, holy
yeah,
cow! Like, that's incredible. So,
yes.
I mean, now my next question goes: how on earth does one teach a dog to do all that?
Well, I know a lot about that because my first assistant dog, I trained myself
Hmm.
with help of a foundation. So I know a lot about the training, and it's not easy. It's really not easy, and I will never do it again that way. Because then you have to train them from like 6, 7 weeks, and they have to go potty training, and you have to learn everything. But if you have an assistant dog in the Netherlands, most of the times you will get them educated, and they will be around 2 years old.
Hmm.
So when they get born, they will stay with their mom for about 7 till 8 weeks, I think. And then they will move to a puppy foster care family. And those are really important for us.
Yeah.
And they will train them for a year, just socializing, nothing special. Just sit, stay. They take them to the market, into the train, into the bus, into the theater, the library, the supermarket, just to teach them to stay quiet and look at you a lot. And those are the most special things they learn with that family.
Hmm.
And then after a year, then you can do the medical check to see if they hear properly, they see properly, their elbows, their knees, their back, everything is in order. And if that's so, then they go to school. And the school is KGF hulphonden, Hulphond Nederland or KGF Geleidehonden. My dog, my cat, is from KGF Geleidehonden. And they will go to school, and at the school, the dog school, they will decide what kind of career does this dog get, because you have different careers. And
Hmm.
in my case, she is an assistant dog, which means she will help me with all kind of daily tasks. And of course, you have the blind guide dog, you have the PTSS dog, and you have autism dogs, and you have dogs who can help you detect epileptic
Hmm.
seizures before
Mm.
you
I've
notice
seen that.
yourself.
Yeah.
So we have lots of
Mm.
different careers, and another career is becoming a mom or a dad, because we need moms and dad dogs to create new puppies.
True.
So that's another career.
It sounds
That's
like
funny.
fun, right?
Yeah.
Like least amount of work involved.
And then, like in case of Kat, she was trained for a blind person's guide dog, but she failed the exam because she is really willing to help a lot. She likes that. But she will stop you from getting hurt or fall down or anything like that, but she won't find a new way. So then you cannot help a blind person.
Yeah.
So she became an ADL assistant dog, and then she get trained for about 4 months every day, just learning to talk. Because if they learn to talk like this,
Yes.
that's the basis for opening a door.
Yes. It's the basis for everything,
It's
right?
a basis for taking off clothes, um, for a lot of things you can use this. So this is a very important thing for them to use, to learn. And they will, of course, learn to apport and to take things back to you. Um, and yeah, well, it's intensive training for the dogs.
Yeah.
Um, and you have to have a dog breed that likes to engage with people and like to work for people.
Yeah.
So
You can't use
Labrador,
a mastiff.
no,
It's
probably
like
not.
this girl, like she's, I mean, like cute as hell, like super, super goofy, super cuddly, but she's not like she's the one like where you say, well, okay, bring this here, and she goes, oh, let me think about that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're kind of like bred to make their own decisions out,
yes,
because when you think about it, like they're usually out with the sheep by themselves, so they don't have somebody who tells them what to do, and they don't need somebody who tells them what to do. So she will do what, but she will always be like, let me think about that for a
yes, yeah,
second.
yeah.
So I totally get that. So how much of the training is like every assistant dog gets the same training, and how much of it, at what point do you come in the game? Because your needs would be different to somebody else in a wheelchair, right? So I think
Yeah.
everybody has their own
Yes.
situation and things you can and can't do, where that would be at what point is like how much of the training is the same for every assistant dog, and how much and how does it work then? Okay, it's not just an assistant dog, it's an assistant dog for Claudia. Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Well, if they do well on school, they will graduate,
Mhm.
difficult word. And it will take them about 4 months.
That's
And
not a
then they,
lot. I thought it'd be more.
no, because they're already trained in the foster parents to be
Mm,
quiet and obedient, and they love to work and they love to learn. So
mm,
they learn very quickly. And that's basic. That's the basic training. So they can do a lot of things like retrieve, because yeah, we work with a lot of retrievers, Labrador Retriever, Golden Retrievers, and they like retrieving. So
yep, they got it in the name.
good dog breed for that. And then the foundation already is looking, when they know the dog will graduate, about, well, I think about a month before that, they already start looking for which client would be a great match with this dog,
Mm,
because it's always a personal match. And it's not like I'm number 45 on the waiting list, so I'm getting dog 45. No, it doesn't work like that. So they spend a lot of time getting to know the clients, getting to know their needs. And then, well, you sort of have a first date with your dog.
so cute.
Yeah, I
Mm,
call it first date, and then you see if there's a match, because sometimes it just doesn't work. You don't like the dog doesn't like you. So there's always a sort of date
yeah.
involved, and when that's a match, then you get an extensive talk about what do you need, what are
Mm,
your special needs, and then they start already training with that dog a bit for your special needs. Like for me personal, they need to turn me over in bed at night because I live alone and I cannot turn myself over. So that's a really special thing that the
mm.
dog needs to learn. Or putting my foot back on the how do you call it in
On the
English?
footrest.
Yeah, on the
Mm,
footrest, because it falls off sometimes.
mm,
Or bringing an inhaler for asthma. So that's really specific, and they start already training a bit at the school if they know you're matching,
mm,
and then you get instruction days. So there's the day that the dog will and you will become officially a team, and then you start training with the dog with the trainer for about, well, it depends on the client, of course. Uh, what can you do yourself? What does the dog already knows? So a difference between 1 till 3 weeks, I think.
Mm.
And then you start training with the dog, and that will be first time 2 hours, next time maybe 3 hours, and you build it a little bit up because the dog is moving for the fourth time in his or her life.
Mm.
So when they come live with you, they will kind of go like, oh, I don't know where I am. Uh, what do you mean by sit? Huh?
I love
I
it.
forgot
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
So
Oh.
there's a period of getting used to each other, getting used
Oh.
to their new home. Need to learn to get the dog, and it will take about 4 till 6 months before you are a good team
Mm.
again, and you understand each other, and uh, it takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of energy.
Mm.
But if
Oh,
you get to that
it's
point that you're a team,
so worth it,
like
eh?
with Kat and me, we're together for more than 6 years now. Most of the time, I don't even have to say a word, or she just knows.
Wow.
So it's really uh,
Fascinating.
always
Because you couldn't, like, you could not live on your own without her, could you?
well, yeah, maybe I could, but I would need a lot of care from
Yeah.
outside. So I
Mm.
need nurses or
Mm.
something like that. And now I
Yeah.
just go to physiotherapy on my own, but I don't need anyone to
Yeah.
get me out of bed, to help me shower, to get me into bed at night. So that
Mm.
gives a lot of freedom because
Yeah.
if you're dependent on those caregivers from outside, you can never decide, I want to go to bed now.
Yeah.
You always have
Yeah.
to wait
Yeah.
till there's somebody available. And one day they can come at 8 o'clock in the morning to give you a shower, and the next day it could be 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So having an assistant dog that helps you with all those simple things that people really don't need to think about, luckily for
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it gives you a lot of freedom.
Oh, I can totally see that. Well, before we hit record, you were sort of dropping something there that I'm like, oh, but let's see where we get through this without tears. But you were talking about your dog getting closer to retirement. Like, what
Yes.
does retirement look like? Like, I mean, I'm like, do you get to keep the dog?
Well,
Or
if
like,
if
what does
yeah,
retirement look like?
that's also different per person.
Mm,
Just let me take a sip.
go for it.
I hate cold coffee. Uh, in my case, I cannot keep a cat because I live very small, and she's not used to being alone at home.
Mm,
So if I get a new dog, then the new dog will go with me to wherever I go, and she needs to stay at home alone.
yes.
She won't be happy then.
Mm,
So for every client, you first get the choice of, do you keep her or not? Do you have enough room? Do you have um, the money to keep two dogs? Because it's
yeah.
expensive, dogs. Um, or if that's not the case, like in my case, I cannot keep her. Is there somebody around you in your inner circle who likes to adopt her? So I had talks with family, with friends. She has a family that's a friend of mine, where she will stay over if I need to go to hospital and she cannot come with me, or if I go to vacation. Or I went to Aruba a few times. That's really hot, so it wouldn't be fair to take her with me for only 2 or 3 weeks. Then she get used to the heat, and then we go back.
Mm,
So then she would stay over there. So you can ask those families, would you like to adopt her? Well, in my case, regrettably, nobody would adopt her. And of course, you need to understand that she's a dog that cannot be at home alone a lot of times.
yeah.
She can be at home for a few hours, but not everybody is capable of taking a dog to work. So
Mm,
yeah, they need a bit of special care. If there's another dog in the house, it would be far more easier because then they will do it together. But in my case, that didn't work out. So then the puppy foster care family gets the call, do you want her back?
Oh.
And they really thought about it, but they declined because they are on their, I think, 12th pup. They're racing
Wow.
for KGF. So they declined. And then KGF Geleidehonden has a whole waiting list of people who would like to adopt a dog that either goes in retirement or doesn't make it through school.
Yeah.
Because not every assistant dog gets to be an
Yeah, I was
assistant
gonna
dog.
wonder what's the percentage of people who, like, of dogs who actually pass? I mean, how, like, is it like 8 out of 10 get through, or like 3 out of 10 get through? Like, what's the percentage?
I don't know the real number at this point, but I think it's about 20% that doesn't get through,
Mm.
either because of medical issues or behavior.
Yeah, I saw some video. I saw a video which was like not funny if you're the one, but it was basically a dog in training, and there was sort of the instructor like kind of pretending to be in a wheelchair, right? And the dog was kind of going, and all of a sudden there was a cat over there, and he just shot across, and he threw. It's like you can't have that, right?
No,
It was
exactly.
funny to see the instructor go flying, but you think like in real life it's not a situation you want, right?
No, you wouldn't want that.
No.
Or
But so
a
at what
dog that,
age
yeah,
would they normally retire? So if,
9.
like say you've been together 6 years, she was about 2, so she's about 8,
Yeah,
it'd be a great dog to adopt, right? They're well trained and calm and resilient. So I mean the perfect dog to adopt,
yeah,
right? But until what age do they usually work?
9.
9.
So
Oh,
before
okay.
their 10th birthday, they will go into
Mm,
retirement, whether they have problems or not. That's just the
yes.
rule, because the assistant dog has got to be a dog for a
Yeah.
while. They
Yeah.
worked very hard and they just need, we want to give them a time where
Yeah.
they just can be dogs.
Mm,
So normally it would be somewhere between their 9th birthday and their 10th birthday. Kat has problems. Uh, so she goes into retirement a little bit earlier, which is great for the family who's adopting her, because
mm,
a dog of 8 will, stay with you for a while. Because sometimes
yeah.
dogs, if you adopt a 10-year-old dog, with this kind of breed, so yeah, it could be 2 years, maybe 3, but it could also be 1 year.
Yeah.
So we love those families who adopt our retirement dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get a perfectly trained dog.
Yeah, yeah, I think I can totally.
Yeah.
And it's nice
And
to
they're
know
very
that there's a
gentle.
waiting list, right? Because
Yes.
that'd be heartbreaking to see that dog that's made your life so much easier ends up in some shelter somewhere because nobody wants them.
No, they
Like that'd
never,
be
never,
heartbreaking,
never
right?
go
So
to
to know
shelter.
that they actually have, you know,
Yeah.
good families waiting for them.
Yeah. And that
Mm,
also gets matched. So there goes a lot of
yeah,
work from the foundation into matching the dog with the client, but also with the retirement family.
yeah.
So it's
Oh,
not
that makes sense.
like, oh yeah, number 70 on the list, that family wants a dog. Now, in Kat's case, they were looking for a family with no small children because they're not used to that. A family, uh, they both don't work anymore, so they are
Yeah,
home a lot. They can take Kat on long walks. They can take her wherever they want to. Um, and they live in a very nice surrounding where uh, there's a forest and there's sea. She loves the sea. I
nice.
think she was a sea dog in her
In
former
a
life.
previous life.
It was a seal, I'm sure of it. So it's really taking care of the dog from the day they are born until the day they die.
Mm,
And when they go to the foster families, they get a lot of instructions. When they go to the client, they get a lot of instructions. And when they go into retirement, they get a lot of instructions, and they keep following the dog. So the foundation is always um, keeping track of what's happening, and if the dog lives with a retirement family and they die, you will get notified.
Mm.
And if it clicks between you and the
Yeah.
retirement family, you can just have
Well, then you just, yeah, you can
contact.
still be
And
in
I'm sure
contact.
that will happen with cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That's really
Yeah.
nice. And so how would that then, like, how would the transition work for you? Because you wouldn't want to then be like, oh, now I'm so used to having the dog, and now, like, what? How does that transition work when she's when she's retiring, and you get a new dog?
Well, normally you would um, hand the dog over to KGF. So either they will come and fetch the dog and bring them to the another family, or you can say, "No, I like to meet the family." So then you get to make an appointment where KGF is also present, and then you will connect and you hand over the dog. And then you're always a few days alone without a dog because you need to grieve
Mm.
because you're saying goodbye to
After so many
somebody.
years,
They're almost a somebody for
yeah,
us.
of course, yeah.
And you need to grieve, and it's not fair to bring a new dog into
Mm.
grievement. So um, you get a lot of talks before this, and you get to make a plan together,
Yeah.
and then the new dog comes, and you start training with the new dog, and hopefully she will catch on quickly. And
Yeah.
of course, in the days that you're without a dog, you need to make sure you're cared for.
Yeah,
In
so
my
you have
case,
to,
I cannot do it alone. So
yeah, yeah, you have to
um,
organize that well.
you have
So
to
have
organize
you
that.
ever
Yeah.
had situations, like sometimes you hear these cases where people have, a service dog, or, and find that not everybody in shops or like in places are like, oh, what's the dog? Like, have you ever had situations where you got, questioned for bringing the dog in somewhere?
Oh
Has that
yes.
happened?
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
shouldn't, but I mean,
It happens
obviously
a
it seems to be.
lot, and not only
Oh,
questions about the dog, but refused. We get refused sometimes.
I
And
didn't. I
that
mean,
happens
like,
a few times a year, either in
wow.
restaurants, hotels, shops. Um, my dad went to, he broke his hip. So he went into, what do you call that? Uh, it was not a home for the elderly people, but to,
Like rehabilitation.
yes,
Hmm.
thank you. He went to a rehabilitation center, and they flat out refused me and Katja entrance.
That's
So
illegal,
he
isn't it?
was sitting behind the window, seeing me, seeing me denied access, crying behind the window, and I was on the outside. It broke my heart. And
I
I just,
mean, is that even legal? Like on in,
no, no, it was not legal. No,
but they still
because
do it.
yes, because a lot of people don't know, but in 2016, the Dutch government took on a new law that stated that you cannot refuse an assistant dog um, because it's an aid. So like I said to shopkeepers or restaurant owners, do you expect me to leave my wheelchair outside also?
Yeah. That's,
Because that's what you're
yeah,
asking me to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And sometimes you just get a conversation about it and you explain a thing. I always try to um, remain friendly, and I always think they don't do it because they don't like you, but they just don't know. So
Hmm.
they're ignorant about the law. And sometimes, of course, I get a little angry or nasty because they keep refusing you. And there are, of course, a few situations where a dog, assistant dog, can be refused, like intensive care or
Hmm.
places like that. But any hotel, restaurant shop should allow us entrance.
Yeah.
But I just had a few months ago, I had a conversation with a restaurant owner who said, "Oh no, no, not getting in." And I said, but she's an assistant dog and you cannot refuse her. Well, I had one of those before, and the dog barked the whole time. It attacked a child. It ran between the tables. And I said, well, then it was not an assistant dog from an accredited school. That's
Hmm.
not possible. And then you should have
I mean,
complained
that
about
I
it.
could imagine that people would kind of abuse that and sort of like take
Yeah.
their, and I've had this in a obviously in a different situation, but when I had my first dog, right? And so he was little, you know, like corgi size, and it's like he wouldn't like me talk about him as little, but he
Or
was
as
like
a
a big
corgi.
dog with short legs. But so there were a lot of places where, you know, where he'd be welcome. You know, everybody knew him from a puppy, and then there was like, I remember our like favorite hangout, you know, all of a sudden like, nah, he's not like what, like why, like we've been coming here for 2 years, right? You know, and he goes, well, sort of a similar situation where there'd been, you know, groups of people with their feral, like with their dogs, who, and then on top of it, they didn't have them on a leash, and they'd be going and begging, and basically they were then worried about the dog annoying other people,
Yeah.
you know, or I mean, they didn't even talk about attacking, but like, you know, it was just like running around, and so that's when they stopped and saying, well, okay, no more dogs here. So I think it's always the people who sort of take advantage, or who like pretend it's an assistant dog, when, you know, because that like that, I can't picture an assistant dog running around attacking children, right? So I mean,
No, because
that's not
lots
a
of
thing.
times when I am in a restaurant and I have her with me, she just lays under the table. And when I leave,
Yeah,
I hear people saying, oh, there was the dog here. I didn't notice
yeah,
it. Because
yeah,
she wouldn't behave badly.
yeah, yeah. But
So,
that's yeah.
but
So
it
I can.
happens. And
They would. They, mind, do they have some kind of like I don't know, some sort of batch or like something that you could say, well, you know, like she's like certified assistant
yeah, yeah,
dog
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
not
You
a
have, oh, let me get this one. So she wears this. So this is the
yeah,
logo from the school. And here it says, don't distract.
yeah.
This is really a KGF
Mm-hmm.
harness. And Hulp on Nederland has a blue harness with the logo on it. And they're working on an European harness. So on every airport or
Yeah.
wherever we will know this is an assistant dog, and you always have to be able to identify yourself with the dog. So I have it on my phone, like
Mm.
a passport that says who I am. This is my dog. A photo of us together. And yeah, of course, people try to copy it. It
Yeah, yeah,
happens. Yeah, they copy everything. So,
yeah.
um,
That's a
but no, it gets a little more known, and people get more aware of assistant dogs. But
mm,
we struggle a bit because there are also uh, companies who claim to train assistant dogs, but they're not
oh,
accredited.
mm,
So then they will wear a kind of a harness, but it's not from a certified dog
yeah.
school. And then you get these situations also. Yeah.
Mm. That's a
But
tough one. Yeah,
I often phone ahead to the restaurant or the hotel or the just to prevent
yeah.
problems, but also because they will claim to be wheelchair friendly, and then you get there and you have to you have to
Yeah,
get
how
up two
often does that
steps
happen?
or something like that. So
Mm,
I always make sure. And I had one time when we went to a museum and I called ahead, and there's a really funny story. I called ahead and I said, well, I'm coming to visit you tomorrow with my assistant dog. And I just want to give you a heads up that we're coming. And the woman on the other end of the phone said, but it won't be any good for you. And I said, why not? Because it's very visual. The
oh,
the exposition is very visual. And I said, yeah, that's okay. I'm not blind. I'm a wheelchair user with an assistant dog. I didn't say blind guy dog.
oh, that's
No.
funny.
I thought it was funny, and then she got a little bit in a panic, and she said, "Oh, I have to check with my boss. I have to check with my boss." And she went off to her boss, and then she came back and she said, "It's okay, but you make sure the dog has already peed and pooped before you enter." And I said,
Oh, so
"Oh,
you
I
know what
normally
they've
don't do
seen.
that. I always let
Mm.
the dog poo in the museums." Like, I'm not a crazy person.
But I mean, for her to say it,
Yeah.
like that, you don't make this up. Like this is because you've had to clean it up, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, but there's always like, a few ruined things for a lot of other people,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So,
and that's I can laugh about it a lot, but if you're in a wheelchair, people have the tendency to talk to the person behind you instead of to you because, well, I assume they think you're not able to talk or whatever. So and that also has a lot to do with your appearance, of course, and if you're able to speak, because if you're having ALS or
Mm,
any other difficulty with speaking, or you're very spastic, people will think you're not uh, well in your head as well, and that's
yeah, that's
normally
hard.
not the
That's
case.
horrible. Yeah.
Yes. So I like to educate people on that as well.
Mm,
Just talk to us. We're a person like you.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with
So
us.
if somebody is interested in hearing more about this person right here, where can people find out more, connect with you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I give a lot of talks about assistant dogs, about the foundation, and I like to talk about the dogs a lot. So if anyone is interested in getting someone into the company to talk about that, they can reach out to me through LinkedIn is the best, I think. And of course, KGF has its own site where you can learn a lot about the dogs, where you can apply to be a foster family, or if you want to, you can make a small donation because
Awesome.
the foundation doesn't get any money from the government.
Wow,
We depend on gifts.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Mm. So,
Yes,
well, we're
it's
going to
really.
pop all the links below.
Yeah.
So, it's not going to be hard. I'm going to pop your LinkedIn and the link of the foundation as well. So people can check that out. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. This was so interesting because it's, so quite often you sort of see it like you see it's not that it's hidden, but you don't really know much about how this all kind of works behind the scenes. So thank
Yeah.
you for giving us a little sneak peek. Really, really interesting. And thank you so much
Well,
for sharing.
thank you for inviting me. It was really lovely to talk about it with you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so other dog lovers can find the show. Head over to soultouchedbydogs.com and sign up for the weekly treat: tips, recommendations, and personal stories to warm your dog loving heart. And if you know a awesome human you think I should interview, I'd love an introduction. Email me at Anke, that's ANKE, at soultouchedbydogs.com.